Howdy do. This is Peter McAllister, the father. I would like a hotel room, please, with an extra large bed, a TV, and one of those little refrigerators you open with a key. Credit card? You got it. What's up, guys? Iggy here with Faltacunlimited, and I have an exceptional build for you today. It is one very, very expensive rig. This is going on. Well, I should say the what's going in this is expensive. What I'm doing isn't that expensive, but it's FN time. So this is the FN57. Well, this isn't. This is a holster mold of the FN57 because I'm not dropping $1,400 on just to make holsters for it. Well, I would, but I haven't this time. So, luckily, customer has sent me the Viridian because I have not invested in any Viridian flashlights until today, to be honest with you. I just bought a lot of, I don't know, it was like 10 or 12 Viridian lights. There's a really cool trick with Viridian lights. If you don't know about it, I'm going to showcase that right here in this video so you guys can see. If you know, drop a comment down before I even get to it and see if you're right. And if not, well, who cares? But we're going to be building this black carbon fiber QLS system with, like I said, this massive Viridian light laser combo. And I hope you guys learn a thing or two. And if you haven't known about this little cool trick with the Viridian, you are going to know. And you're going to want to incorporate it in all of your builds that have a Viridian in it. Now, do I wish other companies had this? Abso-freaking-lutely. But as far as I know, Viridian is the only one. So without further ado, let's get to bending. And again, this is going to be an interesting build. It is a very special build, and this is holster 2 of 3. And I don't think I'll film the Ruger because, well, actually I might. It's got a crimson trace on it. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and do this. And my first step is going to be to block the remaining rail. Since we're here, might as well. And that is so there we go. That's so the holster doesn't clamp down on it, and that'll be perfect. The rest is going to be just doing this. Now, I haven't used these in a while, but these are the flat bars. These are found on the same website as the round bars, which are right here. These are the flat widgets, and you can find them on shopdiy.com or diyholster.com. Same company. However, they don't have them in stock all the time, so you have to keep checking. I am working on finding a company that can recreate these for me, and that'll be fun if I do. Anyways, let's go ahead and we're going to build this up now. This is also going to have a QLS system on it, so that is going to block our retention point on this side. So our retention point is going to be pretty much right here on this side. I don't have the hardware. The gentleman didn't supply the mounting hardware, which is okay because this is on so tight, it is not going to move. And as you can see, I threw a battery in it. So let's do this. But for now, what I'm going to do, I wanted to verify it worked before I did anything. So I'm just going to unscrew this. And I'm going to take the battery out. I believe it's just a CR123. Could be wrong, though. It's CR2. Alright, so I am wrong. And I admit it. Anyways, I'm going to throw this back on here. You got to be very careful you do not strip threads on these. There we go. Last thing I want to do is damage somebody else's property. And if you remember, I literally just said somebody else's property, so I do not want to scratch this up. So what's going to happen is I am just going to wrap it in one layer just to protect L finish. Okay. Because we are going to be using some steel on there. All right. Here we go. All right, so we're going to have this here. And you can see I shaved down all of these. What we're also going to do is we're going to set this up like so. If I can get it. There we go. And then another one will be set up like that. It might actually be beneficial if I have, let's see. There we go. This is slightly wider than two of them, but it'll work just as fine. The only problem is it's not as long, but we're probably going to be cutting it short anyway. We shall see, but we'll see. Maybe not, because I do like the fact of having this, so we got more material just like that. I'm going to go ahead and throw some tape on the top side. The 5.7 it's a pretty difficult gun if you've never made holsters before. So if you have not made holsters, don't do the 5.7 as your first, because you will regret it. All right, and if you want to remember where all the stuff is that you need to do, we got right there, and right there. Do I need to know? No. This is really the most important one, because the blocking for that's going to cover everything else, so we really don't have to worry about it. Anyways, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to set this up. So if you notice there's a little ridge on top of the button, we are going to want to sit on top of that ridge. Even though there's no batteries in here, we definitely will sit on top. All right, now we're gonna do this guy. But if you notice, a little bit of a pink right here. So I'm going to take a small piece of wood, that is a large piece of wood, or a small piece of, here we go, that should work. Just throw that on so it doesn't move. And now we have that. And just so that doesn't move, go ahead and tape that to each other. And we'll line that up like so. All right. And we will flip it and do the other side. And remember, this right here is going to be the retention. And again, I'm going to take the tape off here. This tape has probably been on here for a year. I don't remember the last time I used it. I don't think I've ever used these on this channel. All right. Line it up same way. Throw some tape down. And I'm going to have to tape another piece of these. All right, now remember, this side is going to be the retention side. So I'll probably stop that right about there. That way we're going to get a good indent right there. And I know there's also a takedown on this side. Yay. And I'm going to take this. So I like to squish these together. Yeah, let's go all the way around. Why not? All right, this has suppressor height sights from the factory. So that's going to be this right here. I'm going to go ahead and take that. All right, there we go. Take out that crease. Perfectamundo. All right, and I want this to lay as flat as possible in that corner. All right, again, retention is right there. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this nickel. I'm gonna slide this nickel right in here to hold that in place. And then I'm gonna put a piece of tape around this because I want that nickel right there. And I will show you why. Popped out on me. All right, as long as that stays, I will be one happy camper. You'll see what that's for in a little bit. All right, again, this is for the QLS system, so we're gonna have to mount the QLS fork. When you buy them, they look like this, and they come with all the hardware you need, although in the last video, I got shorted the hardware, or at least one screw. So, and then the hardware you want, there's two different hardwares it comes with. You got the locking ones, which is ideally what you want because they don't have any Loctite on them. And then you got ones that are smooth that have Loctite and they just capital suck. All right, so now we're gonna place this. Let's see here. This is a picture of the firearm the gentleman saved me. I'm gonna cover this so you don't see what that is. And yeah. So actually, I'm gonna blur that. And then that's exactly what we're doing. Everything should fit right underneath there, so I'm not too worried. And let's see here, right about, actually right there looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead, lock that in place. And this is gonna be 4 layers of foam, which I already have my foam. My heat press is on, my foam is under it, and my oven is about to be on. Do a little bit more here. Now, this particular holster, 1,000 times easier if this was a vacuum. So, but eventually I'm working on doing that. I'm going to be designing holsters and molds soon, or at least hopefully this year. And then once I do that, they will be available for everybody. I will have them for sale. That looks good. Nothing needs to be done on this side. Now, all we need to do is retention plate because it's going to be a taco style. No hood on it, which is awesome because this would be extremely hard with the hood. And I'm gonna go grab that. This FN looks pretty good. It is now out of the press. Sadly, after we open it up and get the mold out, we actually have to unfold it, and I will show you why. Everything's out. Everything is untaped. Now I'm going to trim it how we want to trim it, but before we add any hardware or anything like that, I'm gonna unfold it. Again, you'll see why. Now, if you notice, I only opened it up this much. Why? Because we need to mount something inside, and that is more than enough room to do it. I'll show you what I'm going to do. We are going to mount this neodymium magnet inside. And if you don't know, a magnet will actually turn on and off a Viridian sight. So, to get the epoxy to stick, we're going to go ahead and do a couple things in here and do a little something of this. I took my Dremel tool and nothing fancy. I just used a cutoff disc on the magnet, and then I did my regular CNC bit for the router bit for the Kydex. Now, the reason why I did that is just like when you're working with clay or any other epoxies or anything like that, the epoxy needs something to adhere to. So by roughing up the edges, it allows you to do that. So now I'm going to mix up some 2-part JB weld and throw it in. This is my very used glass mixing plate, which I need to clean. But this is clear weld quick setting epoxy. It sets in 5 minutes, but it takes like 48 hours to dry. So, but it's good for like 5,000 pounds or something like that. It is pretty ridiculous. So Just going to go ahead and get this on here. It's a messy job. Kind of sucks, but is what it is. All right, scoop some up. I'm gonna lay it down, get what I can in there. Try not to get strings and stuff everywhere. All right. And then, if you can see that, throw that in and squish it down all the way so that epoxy sticks out. Then I'll actually take the epoxy and go right across the top. Making sure it gets all over. And I'm going to throw a little bit of warmth on it. And that way it gets to be pretty small layer. And that way it kind of assures that it's not coming out. And as you can see, if you can see that, I'll get you a better look. But I want to make sure that's set in there. Bada bing. And as it's drying, these are the magnets I use. You can get them at Home Depot. They're a couple bucks for like 3 or 4 of them. The neodymium work freaking amazing, and they are strong enough to do what we need to do. I went ahead and folded it off camera, so it's folded back over the firearm. Seems to fit pretty good with the magnet inside. I think it's going to be good. Worst case scenario, like I said, I'm going to have to heat it up, bump it out, or I'm going to have to redo it. So hopefully I don't have to, because one, I hate wasting material, but I'm already in this like a couple hours. So I ended up, like I said, doing all that. I was watching a YouTube video while I was doing it. So we're going to get back to doing it. As you can see, I have it all marked out where I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it flush cut with the muzzle, and I'm going to go cut it, and it's going to look like this. W. So I test fitted it, and turns out I had to move the magnet. Luckily, I had the experience to just heat it up a little bit, and I was able to push it out with my thumb enough to clearance it so it's not going to rub on it. Now we could see if it works. All right, we are fresh from cleaning and doing all that it was needed to do, or clean up the edges at least. Now I'm just going to rub it down. And like I said, there's no mounting bolt in this. Gentleman forgot it, which is no big deal because it is very, very tight on my rail, which I'm okay with. And I didn't break the gun, so that's good. We are going to take my Noga RC2000 and go ahead and clean out the inside holes. All right, and before we do the retention, magnet's taking my stuff. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these on. These are 1/2 inch slotted posts and 0.4375 spacers, because I didn't have them in 1/2 inch, but it's pretty much 1/2 inch. Pretty much, not quite. So, all right, now we will do these. And I decided to go with 3. Do I need 3? No, but the way this holster was designed, I felt like I needed it. Get my gun over here. And we're going to check retention before I throw on anything else. Sounded like it just went yee-yee. needs to go tighter. Try that. Remember, so this right here is the retention point. So worst case scenario, I will take the heat gun, heat up right here, and just push it on that slightly. The goal is to never do that though. And everything's all set. It actually worked out pretty freaking great. Let's throw this on here. Straighten that out, and then tighten it down. All right, so, let me, I gotta show you why. Let's throw this back in here. So, when you have a Viridian, all right, so there's a laser, and then double click, yada, 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 does everything you need to do, okay? So, if we turn it on, and we put it near, you still see the light. It's off. And then when you pull it, it turns back on. So, we'll do this. Got the light. Helps if I put this the right way. You still see the light, still see the light. And off it goes. But anyways, so yeah, like I said, if I turn this on, let's get to the flashlight. And when you put it in the holster, off it goes. And then when you pull it, it turns back on. Hell yeah.